So I came to Revolution in Motion in 2012 after, at that point, 2 years of significant neurological challenges. In 2010, briefly, over a course of a year, I lost my ability to walk. I was on a cane for a year. And to control my body movements, my muscular movements. So I kind of looked like Michael J. Fox when he's on his drug, very spastic, uncontrolled body movements. And it was very debilitating. So I would say I was very disabled. I had a big hesitation to come to the program because I think we're all quite resistant as human beings to change. And I think by that point I had been to 5 neurologists. I had tried drugs, I tried yoga, I tried meditation. I tried vastly and very dramatically changing my work schedule to work at home instead of at work and cut down my hours. And I did that over a year and a half, and none of that worked. So by the time someone suggested Rev6 to me, they were bugging me for about 6 months, and they finally shamed me into trying it because they bought me a gift certificate. And I felt guilty for not trying it. I said, well, if this person really cares about me that much, then I think I need to try it and not stop for at least, I don't know what I said to myself, maybe a month. In other words, I couldn't try it once and expect something to change overnight when I was in such bad conditions. So I know I committed to maybe 6 weeks before I would make up my mind either way about whether something was working. So over time, 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, but I think it took about 3 months for me because I was in such bad shape to notice changes, and I did. I noticed that, I can't really describe it except to say that things I couldn't do, I was starting to be able to do. I was moving less, I had a little bit more control of my body. I started, I think at the 3-month mark, the first time I didn't need a wheelchair in an airport. And I was off the cane by that point as well. And then I think in the 4 or 5 month mark, I climbed a little mountain with help from my partner, and I crossed a little bit of a jetty that I hadn't been able to do, that I really wanted to be able to do, that I could do very easily before. And I think those were the first 2 things I was able to do after about 4 or 5 months. The biggest obstacle, well, in the beginning, the biggest obstacle was I'm a very high-functioning professional, and my symptoms were very obvious. And I think that was very, very challenging for me because I looked really weird, and I looked like I was in very great distress. And even though after a while, after a bunch of tests were done, I knew I wasn't going to die or anything, it still was quite obvious that I was disabled, and that was very embarrassing, and I didn't want clients to see and that kind of thing. So I think that was my biggest obstacle. On the journey in Rev6, there are no obstacles because it's amazing. It's fun. People are nurturing. I love coming here. I mean, they have clients that don't have neurological problems at all. They're just here for a different gym experience, and I don't know about them, but I've never had an experience. I've always taken care of myself all of my life. I've worked out, I've run, I've lifted weights, I've done elliptical, everything, and you don't ever get bored here. So that's an amazing part of it, that even though I call it PT for physical therapy because I came here out of need, it's really, really, really fun. So everybody should try it just because it's great. Let's see. I guess I'm reading it from a series of questions here. What's different about my life now? I mean, I think, yes, I'm off medication, but really I always say to people that Rev6 helps retrain your brain and works with your neuromuscular system to talk to each other in a way. And so I think the biggest change in my life is that I went from a disabled person to an able person. And I'm most proud of, well, I keep upping the ante for myself, so I guess that makes me very proud, and it's kind of funny because when I think back to 2.5 years ago, I couldn't even walk, or 3 years ago, I had trouble walking, and now all I want to do is break all my records and act like a normal person when they get frustrated that they're not having a great workout. So I guess I feel normal, and that's something I'm proud of, and I'm also really, really just overwhelmed. I'm gonna cry. You can't print this. Overwhelmed that I've been able to overcome something that I really thought I would never be able to do. So, okay, and of course I'd recommend it because I already did. The end.